What's going on, everybody? We're back, and today we are going to be talking about settings for your streaming PC. So, without further ado, let's get right into it and see what are the perfect settings for a streaming PC on OBS. That's going to be the software I'm using. If you use a different one, you're going to have to find a different video. But for me, this is what I'm using. So I turn on over to my monitor, and you can see it's looking crazy. But that's just because I am capturing the screen that's capturing itself. So once I go into settings, it's going to fix itself. So right here, the first thing you're going to notice is it's going to have a whole bunch of settings. Some of this is going to be you don't really need, like enable when you stir or you start. But the first thing we're going to go to is the stream setting. Now I have this set up for Twitch right now, but I'm going to set it over to YouTube. And that should have my YouTube linked up to it. Now, second one, output. This is going to be the important one. So your output is what you're outputting to the internet. So for me, I have it set up so I have the Enforce Streaming Service encoder settings. And that's going to be, I'm using my 1050 Ti. I don't want to rescale it at all because that's going to lose settings. I've already have a pretty poor capture card. It only goes up to 720p. So the biggest thing I need to do is the bit rate. So what bit rate do you use it? That's going to be the big question. We're going to get into that a little bit later. We're going to go through the rest of the settings. I'm going to put the preset as quality, just above max, and at high. GPU is going to be 0. Audio is going to be what kind of audio device are you using for your PC. So for mine, if I go to my audio settings, I can find out that for my Yeti microphone, it is at 44.1 kilohertz stereo. So that's the setting I'm going to use. I'm going to stay at the same setting it has so I don't actually bug it out or make it unhappy. Other than that, the mic has stayed as the audio for the Yeti. I have the audio for the video stream coming in, and you see these two right here. I do not have the desktop audio set up. And for video, I have it as the same. I do not want to change the video. As I said, if I was running a 4K video capture card and I only want to go to 1080p, I'm going to downscale it. But since I have a crappy video capture card, I only go up to 720. I'm going to keep it at 720 and get the highest resolution possible. From here, hotkeys, it's going to be the same. It's just your hotkeys. You can start stream, stop stream. I have it for page up, page down. That's very normal. And that is about it. So I can go back here to output, which was the important one. So for streaming, I have it set. So I have the video capture card. It's going to be running the 1050 Ti. But on the recording, that is going to be by the GPU. And that's very important because when you have streaming and recording at the same time, you're going to want to dedicate or separate those loads. So for when I'm streaming, I have it going through the video card. When I have it recording, I have it going through the GPU. So that's the same thing, no different settings. I have CBR, all these are standard. And for audio, I have it standard. Nothing else. That is all to setting up. So, biggest question, bitrate. So we can go back here, and I'm going to save those settings, disable that, and come over here to bitrate. And I'm going to pull this up. So what we're looking at is what is the bitrate that YouTube recommends. So they do anything from 720, 1080 to 4K. That's no. But what settings do you use with those different formats? And that's why I pulled up this page right here so I'd be able to see. So for standard HDRs, that's what I'm going to go for, a high definition resolution. For a 4K, I'm going to want 44 to 56 megabytes. That's not going to happen. If I go down to SDR, 4K, 35 to 45. That's still not going to happen. I'm capped out at 12 megabytes for my speed. So 1080, I can do that pretty easily. If I look down here, it is about 8 megabits per second. But if I go down here to the 720, which my video capture card only does, I can easily do 5 megabits per second or 500 kilobits, I think it works out to. And same thing with HDR, the 720 is 6.5. So easily my buffer for 720 on a 10 megabit per second upload speed is going to be right in the sweet spot of 1080 or 720, but I'm limited to 720. So I can go back over here to the settings. And I can go back over to the stream output. For my streaming, I'm going to want my bit rate at 5 megabits. And that's exactly what I have it. I've had 3.5, a little bit above just because I have that ceiling of 10. I'm only using half of it, but I want to make sure just in case anybody else is using the bandwidth when I'm set up in this studio streaming that there's a little bit more that people can get around. Other than that, that is the perfect settings for your streaming PC. The basics are, make sure you know what your output is. Mine is 720. That is my cap. I can't go anything above it. For my speed, I know my speed. 12 megabits per second is my upload speed. I can't go above that. So I want to stay around the 8, 7, 6, right in that range. Give a little buffer just in case because you're going to be running other programs while you're streaming. So that is all to setting up a streaming PC. Those settings are going to max you out at just the perfect spot so you can make sure you have the perfect PC or the perfect streaming PC. Do you want to trust me at it? Or let's test it out. So I'm going to test it out and show you exactly what I'm talking about. And there we go. Easy as that. It started right up. It is a perfect stream health and it is running pretty well. I can go over to Control-Alt-Delete, see my task manager, pull up the task manager, and as you can see, it is doing very well. CPU's ranging about 50%, 60, 70, memory, 40 megabytes, disk is good, Ethernet, doing about 5, 6 megabits per second up, and as I said, that NVIDIA 1050 is taking the haul off of all of that encoding. That is how this PC is staying intact and is keeping up with the stream. Because all of that is going to get offloaded. And that is with the recording at the same time for this video. So I'm uploading, I'm streaming, and I'm recording at the same time everything I'm doing on the computer so I can put it all together into the video. Pretty good. As I said, it is a cheap streaming PC that will get you by and works awesome. So hopefully that helps somebody. If you liked it, like, comment, subscribe, all that. Tell me what I'm doing right or wrong, what you'd like to see. As I said, this was all a viewer comment that started from this series. So as always, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate everything you guys do. Stay safe, ride safe, and please drive safe with your seatbelts. And keep at least 2 wheels on the road.